heart will never change. It's only change. It doesn't matter who
MiamiRollerDerby.com and Miami.tv is proud to present Rink Rash Radio. 60 minutes of everything roller derby in the 305. Visit MiamiRollerDerby.com for more information on upcoming bouts and events. And now, Rink Rash Radio.
Welcome to Rink Rash Radio. Shakespeare here.
In anger.
And we've got a special guest today, Disaster Chief.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, I know. I totally messed up my name. Oh, well.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure it was like anger.
Yeah. So we have a good show coming up. We've got we're gonna cover the deadly rival game that we had last week, Miami's Vice City Rollers. We've got a Flip Cup tournament, coming up next weekend. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We visited Beach Brawl, and we're gonna have a conversation with Backdraft Betty from South Florida Roller Girls, and a more in-depth discussion with Scarby Doll, the founder of Black Roller. That's up on the show today. First up, we do want to encourage people to check out our Flip Cup tournament and silent auction event. We are hosting it at Cutler Bay next Saturday, June 27th. You could sign up. You can visit MiamiRollerDerby.com to sign up. It's basically going to be 13 teams of groups of 5, $10 per person. You can participate in a group Flip Cup tournament. And then after the group Flip Cup tournament, we'll have an individual kind of sudden death, jungle rules, king or queen of Flip Cup type game. Yeah.
Jungle rules?
That's what I heard. Not my words.
Throw down the gauntlet.
Everybody's eyebrows just went up.
Which, by the way, if you're going to throw down the gauntlet, everyone should bring a gauntlet because I've never seen one and I want to see one in person.
Kind of like a pimp cup.
I know. I just want to see one.
There will be a cup, and it will be a king or queen
I
cup.
was going to say, is it going to be a pimp cup?
Not an athletic cup.
No, it might be a cup that's been
Actually, I would do
Don't
that.
get any ideas on you.
Please don't. Please don't. Just say no.
It would be.
It would be.
No,
it would be. But there will be cups, and there will be lots of flip cups. So anyway, moving it forward.
You started it.
They will,
Thank you, George, for being inappropriate once again.
that's why we bring them on. So there will be raffle prizes, and there will be a silent auction, local vendors, and stuff like that. So do sign up for our Flip Cup tournament. It should be lots of fun. And I'm still trying to get George to sign up, but we're working on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what flip cup is.
Flip cup, where you put beer
That's
in
all
a
I know.
cup and you line up in rows on each side of the table, and
You
then
kids today.
you race.
That was enough. That was enough. We didn't have to find an excuse to do it.
But it's
It
fun.
was in and of itself.
It's fun.
It was just drinking fast.
It's a group activity.
Have you tried
faster.
talking to boys while you're drinking beer? That's what we used to do. We talk to girls.
You tried talking to boys?
Listen, if I did, they'd love it. Okay?
His voice is rather intoxicating.
Yes, I have a
I mean,
sexy
he's
handsome
already getting all
voice.
dreamy.
I know.
Local
I can't help it. He's only you. What's going on in roller derby? Enough about me.
So we just came from visiting Deadly Rival up in the St. Petersburg area, and it was pretty hit with a hard loss there. It was, I don't know, like 300 something to like 100-ish. I want to say, yeah, it was pretty rough.
But
It was pretty rough.
Vice City Rollers, you guys have had some stuff going on.
We got some changes in the roster. Yes, yeah.
Coming in, you've lost some key.
We've lost some key players. We're in the middle of rebuilding, getting our fresh meat, and stuff like that. Anger and I have taken, I think, a lot of leadership in terms of,
What would you say? Because Miami's a transient town, people come here, they don't stay.
yeah.
They come, they stay for a while, and then they go.
Yep.
Is that's
Battlestar is
that
leaving
affects
us this weekend, and we're going to have like a little going away with thing for her. She's going to Egypt eventually. She's going to do a trip to
And when the
California.
Vice City Rollers leave, they don't just, oh no, I'm going to Fort Lauderdale. No, it's I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to South Africa to hunt great white sharks.
We'll miss you,
Pretty
Ryan.
much. No, that's kind of how it is, and I think that's just a testament to just kind of how Miami is. It's just tough to keep people here.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, everybody comes, and there's only so much sunshine and all that you can
And
take.
mugginess and mosquitoes, but
It's a Florida State bird.
Pretty much.
So, interesting little thing about that. Shakes did strike again at this event, and I say that because I was given the jammer panty and I blocked instead. And
Not on purpose.
Not on
This
purpose.
story. This is
Not on
great.
purpose. So I get the jammer panty, and like I'm like, okay, get to the line and block. So I'm as the jammer, I am blocking, and I get called. Rollboy called me for a false start, and I'm like thinking in my blocker mentality. And I'm like, oh, he called me for a penalty. Let me go to the box. So he comes back to me. He's like, return to the field. I was like, what? Okay. And then Sugar's yelling at me, you're the jammer. You're the jammer. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, but
She was like blocking. Oh, take off.
yeah, like I gave.
I'm
I,
pretty sure the other team was just kind of like, okay.
yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, it happens. Yeah, it was kind of funny. Now I can laugh about it, but
I think it's awful big of you that you come on to, Rink Rash here and you kind of, hey, I pulled a boner. And here's a big one.
did you say boner?
I did. Boner.
He said boner.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out.
Get your mind out of the gutter. It's another word for mistake.
Okay.
Yes, it has other connotations, but not how I intended it. All right. Maybe if you
Shakespeare
were watching
boners.
so much Cinemax late at night, you wouldn't have thoughts like this. But that's just one man's opinion.
What do you know?
Notice how he knows exactly what network it is.
And that Strike Back's a great show. Again, I think it's a great.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
kinda
come on
funny.
and you're like, yeah, I did this, and
I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's made
What,
silly
that's made a
mistakes.
mistake?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one though.
That's a pretty good one, right? Yeah, I
Those
thought
tall
so.
midgets, people. That's what
Are
they're
you
people.
calling me a child?
All
Tall midgets.
people are tall midgets, and
Well,
They
they're
all
not
make
midgets,
mistakes.
then
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
not
Oh, that's cool.
a-
But
or a giant.
I did win MVP. So
Well, then you're really.
So MVP blogger to win
They
MVP.
said Rocky was the comeback
Yes.
story, but no,
Handshakes.
it's the Shakespeare epic story.
I mean, it was deadly rival. It was really we had a lot of fun. It was a morning game though. That morning game kind of it
It's
took
like
me a little.
what, 9 in the morning or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. I woke up eventually.
We're doing the like go team, and I've
It
got
was a-
coffee in my hand. I'm like,
Basically. But then the juniors, since Deadly Rival is the one that has the backtrack, the juniors got to play on the backtrack the very next day. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Apocalypse and Thriller Godzilla for getting a little experience on the backtrack. And then what else happened this last weekend? Oh, then we went straight from that game to Beach Brawl.
To be
yes, we did.
So why don't you guys actually before we get into that, can we play our team leads Roller Dolls who we met at Beach Brawl?
Of course
Well,
we
we
can.
met
Just
them.
Well, we
1
met
second
last
to prop it up here. For you. I was gonna do it all slick and.
Oh yeah, but I totally messed it
I
up.
just want to slap people in the face with it.
Beach Brawl. Listen, Beach Brawl.
Here you go.
I'm Connor. I'm Sally Jones. I'm Rex. I'm Olivia Doll. We're from Leeds Roller Dolls, and you're listening to Rink Rash Radio.
How about that?
Wearing my lead shirt.
I
I
know.
wore it yesterday.
I
and it's
did-
sweaty.
I
and
saw.
gross.
They kicked a lot of butt. And-
They did.
And they had cowbells. Their fans had cowbells in the stands, and they were like just playing that
They went
cowbell.
down.
They were like, I think she was like, we have to make noise around all these Americans. we have to be the loudest.
Still a loud bunch. We have to beat them.
We have to be louder.
They figured it out. They know how to operate down here.
Quick recap.
How'd you go, British people?
Okay, so basically, Beach Brawl was 3 days. Broward County Convention Center, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 tracks. 22 teams from around the world. We had 16 teams from the U.S., 6 teams international. International teams love like tournaments and events like this because they can get a lot of like games in for like ranking points and stuff like that. They may not get otherwise because it's tough for teams to travel to them. So it's like, all right, we'll come to the States. We'll play a bunch of teams all at once. So let's go ahead and let's break down. Crime City from Sweden came down. Kylo Rolling Rainbow from Helsinki, Finland. Leeds Roller Dolls from Yorkshire, England. Nidaros, how do you say it?
Nidaros.
Nidaros from Norway came down.
Wow.
Pirates, farthest traveling team, Pirate City from Auckland, New Zealand. And
Wow.
fell in love. Love Pirate City. Great team.
They were great.
And then finally, the Rock and Roller Queens from Bogota, Colombia. And actually,
What?
earlier in the week before Beach Brawl, I believe
Molly.
Rock and Roller Queens. Yeah, they played Molly, right? Rock
And
Roller
they
Queens.
Molly lost by like 1 point.
Yeah, good team.
Yeah.
Really good team. Like a really like wild
Molly.
like style and stuff like that the Roller Kings played with. So coming into the event, like it's kind of like a wide range of teams. So the highest ranked team was actually Charlottesville. Shout out to Charlottesville.
Oh, very nice.
At ranked 50, lowest ranked team was Lehigh Valley, which was ranked 183 coming into the tournament. So it's wide range of skill levels and rankings. 6 teams went undefeated on the weekend. So all those teams kind of went 3-0, won all of their games. most points and the largest point spread in a game actually came from Leeds when they played Bet City. They won 669 to 79. Yeah, that was Saturday night, I believe.
Go
That was
Leeds.
Crazy. And then the closest game was Trizic City versus Central Texas. 182 to 180.
2 points.
182 to 180.
Wow, that must have been a nail biter.
Damn it, Central Texas.
Exactly.
All I know is I fell in love with Diesel from Carolina Roller Girls. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's Diesel. I mean, she really is Diesel.
I love the
She
Carolina
double
Rolls.
She's Diesel.
Yeah.
She's Diesel. I went and bought her shirt, like, and I was like, I love you.
Like her shirt, like she has.
No, I wish a shirt,
I was
but
gonna say,
I love
like,
her.
Buy the shirt off her back.
I want to be like her when I grow up. Like,
I missed all of this.
you were there. You were right next to me when that
Oh,
happened.
I thought you bought the shirt off of her back.
Oh, no. I wish.
But my hopes up here.
We'll continue the breakdown of Beach Brawl. We've got a little bit more to cover on that. And we're going to be talking to Backdraft Betty to talk about their game. They got a game actually today, which I'll be substituting with Nadia up at South Florida Roller Girls
Cool.
against Molly Roger. And then later on, we'll bring in Scarby Doll from Black Roller Derby Network and who's playing in Side Eyes versus Bitch Please in Rollercon. So stay tuned. We'll have more of Rink Rash Radio coming up.
From the Gold Coast Derby Girls, and you're listening to Rink Rash Radio. Never understand it. Try to play it frantic. But when you lose, you leave my job to keep my body. It's a fucking industry.
ABCDEFG.
Five skaters, four skaters. You're listening to Rink Rash Radio on 247miami.tv.
Welcome back to Rink Rash Radio. If you're just tuning in, we are breaking down the beach brawl. Chief, Disaster Chief, was just telling us about who did good and who didn't do not so good. And why don't you continue with that?
No, I'm actually going to hand it over to Anger.
Oh, perfect.
Florida teams. Yeah, Florida. All right, so basically there were 3 teams from Florida at Beach Brawl. We had Dub City, who, by the way, since they just became WFDA official, it was their first tournament ever.
It was Molly's too, right? First official.
Molly wasn't there.
Molly wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
No.
It was Dub City's first ever. And they only played 1 game. And they didn't win. But
They played hard.
they played their hearts
They
out.
played their hard. I saw Elastic Ass. She woo.
Yeah, they played their hearts out. It was awesome. The little bits that I did watch.
So who did they play against?
Pirate City.
And what was the score?
It was 134 to 235.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So I mean, it was
pretty handy win.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't.
They both scored. Like, yeah.
It wasn't too big of a differential that we've seen for some of the other games. And I know a lot of the girls of Dub City were super excited. Like just reading like Anna Assassin's freaking Facebook page about like how she was still on a high 3 days later.
No, it was definitely competitive games.
Yeah, they were super excited about that. Obviously, Gold Coast was there.
Yeah.
The hosts of the tournament played 3 games, didn't win any, but I know for one of the days I was there, I didn't get to see it, but I could hear the crowd going wild for the game.
Who did they play against?
Pirate City.
Okay.
They played again. Well, that team was Pirate City. They also played Emerald City in Carolina.
Right. I watched a little bit of the Emerald one.
Yeah,
But the Pirate City one was probably one of their closer ones.
Yeah, the thing is, Gold Coast actually had a really, really tough schedule. So Carolina came into the tournament ranked 42. Emerald City came in ranked 51. So Emerald City is basically like the second, like highest ranked team in the event. So like Gold Coast had a really, really tough schedule. It's just one of those things where you come up against a tough team and just kind of do whatever you can. And
Right.
Emerald City went on a tear.
Oh yeah.
Just in general, but like the Pirate City game was actually really, really close. Like it
Yeah, it was
basically
only a 20-point differential.
and it went down to the last jam. And honestly, for a moment there, it looked like Gold Coast was actually going to have a chance to pull out the victory because the Pirate City Jammer was in the box, and it was actually their team captain, and she actually left the box to try and call an official review. When she leaves the box, of course, that's a penalty. It's a legal procedure. It was her 7th penalty. So she fouled out.
Ooh.
So it's like, all right, so somebody has to serve the remainder of her penalty plus that penalty at
Right.
the start of the next jam. So Gold Coast has a perfect opportunity to get lead and just go ahead
Empower
and round
them.
up some points and everything like that. Gold Coast Jammer gets through, gets lead, back block.
Oh,
Gets sent to the box.
Oh no.
No lead jammer for the rest of the jam, so both jammers just kind of go through and they matched points the entire time.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah. But Pirate
That
City is a good
happens.
team.
Yeah, that happens.
Yep.
Who else was there?
And then lastly was Fort Myers, who I actually had the pleasure of skating with a lot of those girls at the Baller Shot Collar boot camp. There were actually like 4 or so of them at least in the boot camp. And they were a great team. They played 3 games, won 2 out of 3. So
They did pretty good.
yeah,
Mm.
they did pretty good. I think the only one they lost against was Kylo, which is
The
Norway.
Kylo. Helsinki. Finland.
Helsinki.
Yeah.
So
What was the Baller Shot Collar Clinic?
Baller Shot Collar Clinic was amazing. It was 3 hours with Team USA's Baller Shot Collar. Did a lot of just footwork, as not just individual footwork, but like as a team, as a group, as a pack. A lot of trying to get through the pack as a jammer. A lot of what to do when the jammer gets through the pack as a blocker. It was just really, really great.
So
stuff.
as training director for Miami, what were you incorporating some of those drills that you picked
I
up?
was
Yeah.
like yesterday
Yeah.
when I was
The
making
Scald
all
Eagle?
new stuff.
The Scald Eagle.
Yeah, I was making you guys. I mean, like a lot of it's contact, so I mean, I could only do so much with the fresh meat, but yeah, Yeah, a lot of what we did at the beginning to warm up for the boot camp was a lot of what I was having you guys do yesterday.
Yeah. See, and that's what's pretty cool. Like, you can go to these tournaments, you can be part of a boot camp, you can pick up skills that you bring back to your team. You know.
And she was amazing too. She was at the end of it. She was just like I was already sitting there in my head going, man, I have to write all this down so I can steal it and take it home. And at the end, she was just like, so if anyone has any questions or wants me to just give like a brief overview of what we did today, so you can take it back to your team. And I'm like, perfect.
Nice. Nice.
I'm like, good. I'm
And
glad
she
you said that, 'cause
was
I was just gonna steal it.
a player for Gold Coast.
Yeah,
Previously.
former Gold Coast.
Former
skater.
Gold Coast
Before
skater.
moving to
Yeah,
Atlanta.
We got to get her on the show,
Yeah.
obviously.
She
Yeah.
skates with the Atlanta Girls now. Also, too, we have ECDX is going on this weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
So
we do.
that's
So which is being streamed live on wolfda.tv.
yeah.
So
I have
watch your duty.
Extravaganza.
Exactly. So I mean, the cool thing about ECDX is it's kind of an all-in-one sort of event. So there are sanctioned games, there are challenge games, there's all-star games. So like the Vagine Regime is going to have a couple of games coming up. They have juniors games and stuff like that. So like yesterday, there's a murder game, the New York Shock Exchange versus Penn Jersey Hooligans. Shock Exchange like took a really, really massive win.
Wow.
But there's kind of like a skill discrepancy right now in men's derby where like the top three teams.
And we
are
will
really
be
top three.
talking to more men's roller derby teams as we got emailed by the men's roller derby cup like administrator the way they're going to have their roller derby cup in
2016.
2016 in
Yeah.
Calgary, Canada. Tickets go on sale July 14th, so stay tuned for more of that. But on the phone, we actually have Backdraft Betty from South Florida World Girls, who's here to talk about the game that they actually have later today, which actually, thank you, Backdraft, that I'll be there actually substituting with you guys today. So why don't you tell us what's going on?
We're so excited.
Welcome back to the show, first of all.
Thank you. It's always nice talking with y'all.
So where is it at? Where can people find information? Who are you guys playing? What are the deets?
Well, we are super excited. It's just a little background of where it's at, when it's at. It's at Skate Town in Fort Pierce, Florida. And the doors open at 4:30. Bout starts at 5 p.m. We will be playing the Molly Rogers Roller Girls. It's kind of exciting because we haven't played them in 2 years, even though they're one of the closest teams to us.
Nice.
For whatever reason, we've always missed playing each other.
All right, so it's time to put it on.
Yeah, definitely.
And so
We
besides,
got a little,
go ahead.
we got a little piece of got some insight on them last week when they played Bogota,
Yeah.
Colombia's rock and roll queen, which was an amazing bout to watch. It was insane. There were so many hard hits, incredible skaters with so much talent. It was kind of one of those, you're sitting on the edge of your seat bouts. The final score was 168 to 169,
Right.
and it came down to the very last jam. It was insane.
I love those type of games, the ones that really leave you on the edge of your seat and you don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we have that kind of game tonight too. It'll be exciting. We have a lot of strong players, a lot of skilled players. We're subbing you and a couple of the other girls from down south, so
Right.
we're excited.
Right. No, it should be a fun game. But in addition to the game, you guys got something else going on, which I saw on Facebook, and I thought it was super important that you had an opportunity to bring it up. I heard one of your skaters is kind of going through a hard time right now. So why don't you tell us about that event?
Right. Unfortunately, one of our veteran skaters that she's been with the team from basically the very beginning, Kitty Catch a Deep, number 11, she found a lump in her breast a couple weeks ago and ended up getting it checked out and found out that she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer.
Wow.
She had surgery last week
Okay.
to get the mass removed along with some lymph nodes, but she will end up having to start chemo in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Chemo and radiation. So this bout's kind of for her, and
Number 11, Kitty Cut You Deep.
yep.
Okay.
And we support the Making Strides breast cancer walk every year. It's kind of one of our things that we do as a nonprofit organization. South Florida Roller Girls participates in the walk. We actually skate, and this year it's going to be extra special. So if you go to our Facebook page or our website, www.southfloridasrollergirls.net.
That's important.
You can find links off of our page to donate. Nothing's too small of a donation. We're trying to raise not only money but awareness. It's really important to fill your boots and
Absolutely.
just know that the importance of catching this kind of thing early. So.
Absolutely. Well, shout out to Kitty Cut You Deep, number 11 from South Florida Roller Girls, and it's a good thing that you guys are there to support one another, and it's definitely times like this where the Derby fam comes together and really supports one another through these tough times. So I'll be seeing you later today. After the show, I'm actually driving right up, so we can talk more about that. And anyways, hope we kick some butt today. And thanks for calling in. And if you guys visit southfloridasrollergirls.net for more information on their upcoming bouts and events. Thanks so much, Backdraft.
Thanks, Six.
All right, and all right, cool. And we'll be back with more Rink Rash Radio.
Well, I had refed for a local team back in Tennessee, and then started helping out with Nashville and learning a lot of stuff refing from Major Woody. And we ended up meeting up online, and then met through a bunch of close Derby friends, and one thing led to another, and now she's my wife.
ABB.
I'll keep showing sorrow. I'm trying to celebrate. The music's all we got.
Quads forever. You're listening to Rink Rash Radio on 247miami.tv.
And in studio, we've got Disaster Chief, and we have a special guest with us today on the line. We've got Scarby Doll. Hey. Now, Scarbie, we found out, we got connected through Naughty C Cups. No surprise there. And basically, she connected us with you because she'll be playing with you up at Rollercon in the Side Eyes versus Bitch Please game bout. Which we'll get into a little bit later. But basically, so we talked a little bit online, and you mentioned that you got started with the Atlanta Roller Girls in 2007, and then you played for Angel City Derby Girls, and you're currently practicing with WasteLand Derby Dames in Palmdale, California. But what I really want to get to is your obsession with Argyle socks. Your Twitter handle says @Argyle Sock Queen. What?
It's completely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, my son, I was trying to do this before my son woke up. Oh, you want to say hi?
Say hi. Let's say hi to your son.
No, he's very shy. So anyway, I started collecting Argyle socks in 2002. I got my first pair, in 2002, and I was like, wow. I didn't know these could be so great. So now I have close to 200, and people buy them for me. Like, they'll see them and say, oh, I saw these and thought of you, and send them to me.
Wow. Wow.
It's ridiculous. It's really, it's probably not very healthy, but it's better than.
Yeah, I think when you go above like maybe 10, 20 pairs of Argyle socks, but you're at a 200, level there. That
Do you
it
have
is.
like just drawers dedicated to them?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how like everyone has a sock drawer? Do you just have like an Argyle sock drawer?
Well, it's not even a drawer anymore. It's like one of those big plastic bins full of socks, and and they all match. I mean, I don't have any missing. I don't have any missing. If you look on my Twitter, I have pictures of them.
Oh my God.
With my socks. And I was like,
No, it is an obsession.
These socks. It's a problem. I don't want to get help though.
There are two more questions with this. Like, do you wear all of these socks?
I do. I absolutely do.
Okay.
But I do have a few. I have secret pairs that I have never worn, and I find them like, hey, I've never worn these before, and then I'll put them on like, hey, I don't even know where I bought these from or when I bought them, but I wear them. Yeah, absolutely, I do wear them.
And do you have any that you've like retired and like hung them on like a wall of fame and stuff like that? Like, oh, I've had.
Took the words out of your mouth.
Well, the ones that are worn, I turn into like arm warmers, or
Oh, nice.
I recycle into some sort of project on Pinterest that I never finished. So I have like pieces of Argyle sock as well as like my actual Argyle socks that I wear. I have like the retired ones like scattered in my like a what do you call it? Like a craft pile, like a pile of crafts that are all like different
Argyle sock pieces,
like Argyle carcasses.
Are we going to be seeing something on Netflix or PBS or something where it's a town of Argyle sock people? I mean, is this something you're working towards in the future?
I would totally move there. I would be like the mayor of Argyle Town.
Well, actually, the queen, really, because at Argyle Sock Queen.
Well, yeah, well, this is America, though, so I have to be the mayor. If we were in England, I'd be the queen.
Okay.
So what you're saying is when I come to Rollercon, I just basically need to bring a pair of Argyle socks with me.
Basically.
I will not refuse a good pair of Argyle socks.
Let's see what we can do.
She's got an Argyle sock.
And that would be really cool if we had some pink and white ones with a Rink Rash radio on there. But let's see what we can do.
They're like green and purple or olive or doo-doo brown. I don't care. It's Argyle.
I can find you some doo-doo brown Argyle socks.
Argyle socks. I'll wear them.
Just when you say doo-doo brown, I just want to see you break it down. Like that's
I know, right? In Florida. It started out in Florida.
Well, great introduction. That was very fun. Thanks. So tell us a little bit about who Scarby Doll is and who's the person behind Scarby Doll. Kind of where I know you're a single mom, you have a child. Where do you come? Like, tell us your story.
Well, wow, where do I start? I can start at the top. I was born no, I'm just kidding. Scarby Doll was born in 2006, actually. I had my name before I started skating. I was like, when I started playing with the idea of starting to skate, I was like, what would be a good name for me? And I had this really cool surgical scar. And my dad still calls me Dollface or Baby Doll, so I wanted to incorporate those two.
Wait,
So,
how'd you get the scar?
Oh, I had a tumor on my back.
Oh wow.
That I had removed. It wasn't malignant, but it was growing and sore. So my doctor said let's just get it out anyway. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool scar across my back.
Yep.
And I show it off and everything. Some weird.
No, it's scars make the best stories. I mean, that's that's something that
yeah,
you wear.
exactly right.
Yeah, that's
Because
cool.
when people say, "How did you come up with the name Scarby Doll?" I'm like, "Well, because I have a really cool scar." And my dad still calls me Doll Face. So I wanted to put this
So
together.
Scarby Doll, not Scarface. Because that would have been too obvious.
Right now.
I'm surprised we didn't hit Scargyle.
Scargyle! There you go.
I wish I would have come up with that. My new
My
alias,
gift to you.
AKA Scargyle. I love that. No, man, I should have came up with that first.
Just wear it for your challenge or Rollercon.
That's George
Scargyle. I
West,
got
just
to create
squaring
a
up the
challenge
drama.
out next year for ones who like socks versus bare feet. And then I'll be Scargyle.
There you go.
Got it. That's 2016 Rollercon coming for you.
There you
You
go.
got it.
Yes.
So
So what I do? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're talking about how Scarby Doll was born.
About my personal life, I am a single mommy. I have a son who's special needs. He has autism.
Okay.
So that's an adventure like in itself, and
Yeah.
him discovering different things and him reaching milestones that typical children usually hit earlier than 4.
Mm-hmm.
But every time he hits a new milestone, I just jump up and down. I want to cry. I'm like, yay, my son!
That's cool. We actually
Like,
have
right
a.
now, let me tell you guys something. He's sitting quietly right now.
Oh.
That is a triumph.
Small
He's sitting
victories.
quietly while I'm on the phone.
Small victories. That's what counts. We actually do have another one of our skaters, Piper Collins. Super Pie from Molly
Yep.
Roger, who also has a child with autism. So that's I think it's important as a single mom, right? On top of that, to be kind of that role model. And I think Derby is a really cool way to kind of show that strength too. So like, is there any introduction that you've made with your son, like with Derby or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, after I had him, I came back to Derby. This is when I was skating with Angel City. About 3 or 4 months after I had him, and I played him my first bout. I thought he was about 6 months after I had him. And he was on the track with me and his dad and my mom and dad, and we took pictures. He was smiling. He had on his little Angel City Derby onesie.
Oh,
Super cute. Yeah, they got it for him for my baby shower. It's a little Angel City Derby
that's so cute.
onesie. He wore it to the bout, and he was smiling and screaming with everybody else, and it was pretty cool.
That is
It was
amazing.
his introduction to Derby.
That's really, really cool. Oh, so so you started as fresh meat with Atlanta.
Yep.
And you skated with them for 2 seasons,
I
and
did.
you transferred to Angel City in 2009.
Yep.
And then you retired in 2011. Why'd you
I did.
retire?
I had to retire because for family reasons, just for personal reasons.
Mm.
Sometimes when your real life goes, haywire, you gotta put Derby aside for a second, which I hate to say, but you do when you have to get your own stuff together.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to get yourself together. You do. I just didn't have the time for it. I couldn't commit like I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what? I'm gonna have to put this on the side. Derby's always gonna be there. That's the cool thing about roller derby. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I had to put that aside and really just focus on my real life. It's just exactly what I've been doing. So when I decided to come out of retirement this year, I'm sort of in and out because I practice with WasteLand. I haven't officially joined them, but it's proven to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. But
Really? Why is that?
yeah, only because with just dealing with my real life with my son and his 12,000 appointments that he has every week, it's hard. But I get there when I can, and I'm still skating. I do Rollercon, and I try to get out to as many events as I can, and stay in touch with everyone in the Derby community. But yeah, so when I started playing with the idea of coming out, the whole game changed. Like, it's so different from when I first started.
It's
so I
slow,
had to
Derby.
relearn. I had to unlearn things and learn new things. So I'm like starting from scratch, which is really, really interesting.
Which is a
somebody
great
who's been a part of
challenge.
it.
Yeah, it's a really great challenge. Something that you thought you knew, and now it's changed. The rules have changed. I bet that's you kind of got to go in there with an empty cup.
Absolutely.
Mentality.
It's like when I started from scratch. Like I'm starting from scratch, like I was in 2007 when I first started skating with Atlanta. It's really exciting though.
Yeah, you're rebuilding that. I mean, it's exciting and nerve wracking, I'm sure, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you do it because you love it,
Absolutely.
and you're not forced to do it, and I think that's even better. You know, you really love something like that. So we are going to be talking a little bit more about you coming back and doing the first probably ever all black bout at Rollercon. And that's Side Eyes versus Bitch Please. So stay tuned, hang tight. We'll have more of Scarby Doll in a second.
I love I can't pinpoint it. I love hitting. I love jamming, obviously. And I love it. I guess I love it most because I love to skate.
You're listening to Rink Rash Radio on 247miami.tv.
Welcome back. We're on the last segment of today's show. On the line, and we're continuing the conversation with Scarby Doll, or Scarbie, perhaps. We might be, George West might have forced her to change her name. But she is the face of Side Eyes versus Bitch Please bout at Rollercon. And literally, quite literally, you are the face of Side Eyes.
I am, and that happened sort of by accident because we were all posting like selfies of our side eyes in the Black Roller Derby Network, and my profile picture is one of them. So she took my profile picture, drew it, the hammer from Atomic Roller Girls, took my profile picture and turned it into this sort of drawing for the bout, and I was like, wow, like my head is already big.
And now,
we all get to wear your face.
Be even more conceited.
Yeah, we get to wear. Anger was like, we get to wear your face.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I give people side eyes all the time, so I need that shirt. So I'm going to wear your face as I give you Argyle socks.
But not in any kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of way at all.
Right, correct.
Maybe
I'm gonna wear your face.
So you're the face of Side Eye's team because your face literally is on the shirt, which we're all gonna have to get now. Obviously. Well, Disaster Chief, we might get you a Bitch Please shirt.
Like, you cannot know. For someone who's as self-absorbed as I am, having people with my face on their shirt is like everything.
I might be competing with you on that. I get we're still working on those giant headphones for me, right?
Hey, come on, she knows. We don't have to tell her.
But so tell us about this how did this come about? This is the first time in Derby history where both teams are all African American skaters. How was it born, and what were your reasons for starting Black Roller Derby Network?
I'll start with the first question. It was born in November. The idea for this was born in November of last year when Queen Latifah, this is when we were posting all of our side-eye pictures, and Queen Latifah said we should have like a whole team called Team Side-Eye. And then Death by Chocolate said, yeah, it should be Team Side-Eye versus Team Girl Eye. And then Hannah said, no, it should be Team Side-Eye versus Team Bitch Please. And it just exploded from there. And we started a roster and everything. This was in November. The roster, everybody was fighting. We have like 500,000 alternates. Like, everybody wants to be on the roster for this.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to play. So we didn't say anything about it until it was actually scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was scheduled as a full-length bout. And Ivana said this is like one of her favorites already. Like, she's like, I don't even know, but this is the thought of it is so exciting. And that's when we started sort of telling everyone, this is the very first time, I think ever, where both teams are all black skaters. Because people always say, oh, there's not enough black skaters for a whole team. Oh, excuse me, there's enough for two. At least.
Mm-hmm.
And we have alternates.
Well, why is that? Why is it important for you to have, because I actually I ran across your article on Derby Central, and talking about why people ask, like, you're basically responding to a couple of questions as to people are asking you, like, why is it necessary for you to do this? Why is it important to even have an all black team?
Well, it's about representation. When you think of roller derby, people automatically think it's a white girl sport. And they don't see very many people of color. It's the truth. And it's not that they aren't there. It's that the representation is, how can I phrase it? It's getting better now. I'll say that. But back when I first started, it was considered a white girl sport. As the sport progresses, it is becoming more and more diverse, but we still need to do more. It still needs to be, when you think of roller derby, it's not thought of as just a white girl sport. It needs to be thought of as a sport, period. Not black, not white, not man, not woman, just a sport, period, where people play. And in order for us to get there, we have to have representation. It was like this, having a bout where all girls are not white, even if they were all Asian girls or all Latina girls, it would be important, because it shows the world that everyone can do this. you know, and it's not just limited to one type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started the network, it was basically so we could all stay in touch and talk to each other about certain things that other people won't understand. Being not just a person of color, but being African American, dealing with microaggressions, dealing with people having a certain thought about you even before you hit the track. You know,
Mm-hmm.
bless you, baby. Okay. So I'm doing double duty right now. So
Not the doo-doo
when I
ground,
started
but the
network-
double duty.
So that's the reason why I started it, just so we can all talk to each other about things that affect us or things that bother us, you know, or just the
Like in general,
you know?
or like Derby specific, or both.
It's not Derby specific.
Okay.
It's not Derby specific. Some people come to me and rant about things that happen at the job, you know, that have something to do with them being African American, and maybe in a workplace where there's only two or one. So being a minority.
It was important for you to build a community
a
that you felt wasn't as, you know, represented nationally, you know, and kind of building that sense of like, hey, you know, there are other Black skaters, even if you might be the only one in your team that is Black.
Absolutely. We have people in our network where they're the only Black skater in their state.
Wow.
You know, so they're like, yay, finally somebody who gets me, you know, and not just the roller derby part, but just being a skater of color.
Now some would say that, you know, having an exclusive bout where it's, you know, exclusively Black players is actually counter to what the derby culture is, which is an inclusive sport. What would you say to that?
Wait, do what now? Okay.
So some would say, and you know, that, you know, having a bout where it's exclusively all Black players is counter to the culture itself, which is based on an inclusivity, like based on everybody. We don't care where you come from, who you are, we all play. Like what would you say to that? And I'm just trying to get your perspective, like, on why it was so important for you.
I hear that. You know, the existence of the Black Roller Derby Network is something I have to defend a lot. And it's not about exclusivity at all. It's about having people together who understand each other. Now, with regards to this bout being an all-Black bout, one of the reasons why this is started is because NAACP and DBA kids, they're having problems finding opponents. So, no one wants to skate against us. Fine. Let's have a bout where we all skate against each other and just, you know, keep the cover of each other. You know, and just hit the shit out of each other and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? It's not about excluding anybody. It's about including us and having a sort of thing. Now, no one says anything like that about the Virginia regime or Derby over 40. If there was a whole bout where there were skaters over 40, I would be all for it. If it was a whole bout, the Virginia regime has orange versus gray. You know?
Mm-hmm.
We don't, there's no one says, oh, why you guys need to have all queer skaters. You know, no one says that about them. I agree with them having a group where they can all understand each other. Why is it such a big deal when the Black people get together?
Right.
What do y'all think will happen? We gonna riot? Like, we're not gonna riot, guys. Like, we just want to skate. You know? So that's what I would say to the person who opposes this idea. It's not about excluding anybody. It's about including us. That's it.
And obviously, so we've got you on today, and we've got Death by Chocolate next week coming on the show.
I love her. That's my best friend. She doesn't know, but we're best friends.
I love how you say she doesn't know.
She doesn't know we're best friends, but I totally stalk her. She's one of my favorite people.
Naughty's a big fan of Death by Chocolate. You know, every time she sees her, I mean, she's from Houston, and Naughty goes to Houston frequently. But
Speaking of, isn't she going to be on this?
Naughty will be playing with you guys on this team. I'm not sure if she's with Side Eyes or Bitch Please, but
no,
Naughty can
I
do either.
don't think she's rostered. I don't think
she's an alternate.
I think she just wanted to watch.
Oh, okay.
I thought
she was on it.
No, but I don't think I'm not sure. actually. I know she's not on my team. She might be on Team Fish Fleet.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll
I
find
don't
out.
remember seeing her
She
name
do either.
on the roster. She very well could be.
Yeah, so we'll have Death by Chocolate on next week, and then I believe and we also have Hammer from Atomic Roller Girls coming on the show.
Hammer, she's one of the brain masterminds behind this belt, and she's the one who started. She basically steamrolled this whole thing. It's her. It's all her.
All right, cool. So we'll have her on, and then we're also gonna have Coach John Hall that he's gonna be on. So it's gonna be an interesting next few weeks as we get to know you guys, get to know you as skaters, get to know you as a group, and what you guys are trying to do and your perspectives. And I think it's absolutely important that we do, have this discussion and let people know that there are there are other people out there that are trying to build communities. And that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're really excited. We hope that you kick a lot of ass at Rollercon.
I'm just trying not to get my ass kicked.
So
I've seen her out there. I'm like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I just want to make it out alive.
We'll freight.
Man, it's beastly. What did you guys see? You guys are like, oh my God.
Is Freight Train gonna be on there?
Freight Train's on my team.
I love me some Freight Train.
Freight Train is on my team, and Aaron Jackson is on Fish Creek.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good game.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
All right, cool. So thank you, Scarby Doll, for joining us today for this episode of Rink Rash Radio. We wish you the absolute best.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
And please say hi to your little guy for us. And we'll work on those Argyle. What's that? We'll work on those Argyle socks for you. In the meantime, guys, tune in to more Rink Rash Radio next week. We'll be having Death by Chocolate from Houston Roller Derby.
Thank you.